Hey, this is Susan Ferrara with another episode of the Law of Attraction series, and today we are talking about a question that I get all the time, the difference between self-love and self-care. There is a difference, and it makes all the difference. So listen up, okay? So before we get into self-love, I want to talk about what love actually is, because I think that's part of the problem, not really understanding that. And I know for myself, when I really began understanding what love is, it started to shift everything for me. So, love, the opposite of love is not hatred. It is not fear, which a lot of us are taught as well. And you can see this for yourself because sometimes the most loving thing can be very scary. It is not fear, okay? The opposite of love is judgment. Judgment. And here is how you can tell. So, love actually is pure acceptance. It's not adoration. It's not liking someone. You don't have to like someone to love them. To love them means you accept them for who they are without conditions. It is the absence of conditions. Judgment is conditions. With judgment, you have a condition. So this person is deemed good or bad, right or wrong, superior, inferior in your eyes based on your conditions, right? Love is unconditional. It is the absence of conditions. So I want to make sure you really grasp that before I move on to self-love, okay? So self-love is then the absence of conditions on yourself, the absence of judgment for yourself, about yourself. So we all, in this world have grown up with different conditioning from our parents, usually, our society, our schools, influencers in our life. We have created meanings about ourselves and the world and others based on certain conditions. You are worthy, you are valuable if you are not lazy, right? That's a common one. You are a nice person, a good person, if you are not selfish or mean. That's another common one. These are conditions that we have put on certain things, which then create barriers for limits on ourselves, right? They create limits because if you're afraid of being perceived as one of those judgments, you will not allow yourself to be fully yourself, to say what you really want to say, to do what you really want to do, to be who you really are in the world. You will hold back. Okay? Now, self-love versus self-care. Self-care is a result of self-love. When you are in acceptance for yourself, about yourself, and you have release conditions on yourself, you naturally become more compassionate with yourself. You naturally want to care for yourself in the way that you need to be cared for, not what you fucking just read in a fucking article in Self magazine because it worked for this chick or because some doctor is telling you that this is the latest medication and now whatever. It's about you listening to what you need and letting go of anyone perceiving you a certain way if you allow that. And here's an example. When I left the fashion industry, I was extremely burnt out. If you know my story, I had adrenal fatigue and all kinds of health issues. And I had always been into health and nutrition and all of that good stuff, but all of the things that I used to force myself to do to be or look a certain way were not working. And I was actually making everything worse by trying to do the things that I was doing. And what I finally had to do was surrender to the fact that my body wasn't having it anymore. She was done. She was tired of me being a dictator. She was tired of me making her feel she had to be anything other than who she was. And I did want to be back in optimal health again. And I finally had to get honest about the fact that that is going to take longer. And I'm not going to be able to look how I want to look while it happens. And as I started to accept myself as I was, that is when I started to find answers. I stopped making it be about a certain deadline. I stopped making it be about a certain size or a certain weight. I stopped making it be about only food and nutrition. And I realized there was a lot more going on. It was definitely all connected. And I realized that it all came back to my ability to allow myself to play and express myself. To me, expression is the greatest form of self-care. The greatest form of self-care. And in order to allow your full self-expression, your full life force, who you came here to be, you need to be in a place without conditions. Because those conditions are what limit you, like I said, and make you filter yourself, censor yourself, hold back, keep yourself small. Okay? You need to let go of those conditions, and self-care starts to become more natural. You want to listen to your body. If we all just shut the fuck up for a few minutes, you would hear her. And that's what I had to do. I had to stop using things in the external world to tell me what she needed and start going inside, finding my own answers and hear what she needed. And yes, sometimes it was about food or exercise, and sometimes it was about boundaries. Sometimes it was about, how I was talking to myself. Sometimes it was about sleeping more, right? Or, the way that I set my schedule up. And a lot of it, most of it, was about expression and play and letting myself play, because I had in my mind that play was the opposite of work, as most of the people in our Western society have. Many of us have that belief that you work so you can play. But we are designed to play. That is our work. That is how we create the best. That is how we learn. That is how we grow, through play, just like a child. But because of those conditions that I had on myself, I wouldn't allow myself to do that. So I stayed in the opposite of that, which was working, pushing, striving, making myself, prove myself, or, like I said, push myself in ways that was not good for me and left me with no satisfaction, no fulfillment. Yes, I had the money and the things, but no time or energy to enjoy any of it. And that is what I had to shift. That is where I, started going inside and shifting those conditions. So I want to make it so clear that self-care is a result of self-love. If you are struggling with self-care, there are conditions that you have on yourself, because self-care should feel good. It is meant to feel good. It is meant to feel good. Your body wants to feel good. She's going to tell you what she needs to feel good, to feel energized, to feel alive again. That's really what it's about, to feel like you are living. And this has to do with more than just your diet and exercise, like I said, your pleasure. Maybe you need more sex. Maybe you just need to stop and smell the fucking roses. There is so much involved, and it is all connected, and it all starts with you. And I want to show you this for yourself. I'm doing a free class again for my Easy Money program, and I've streamlined my Easy Money program. It's become more of like an intensive immersion, and I want to tell you all about it. So even if you've come to the class before, there are some tweaks, and I would love to have you there to teach how you start to let go of these conditions, okay? So, and really how to start seeing them. You can start right now. The way that you're judging others is going to show you how you judge yourself, if you're not aware of how you judge yourself. So if you start looking for that now, that is how you measure your self-love. That's how you know how much you love yourself. Okay, because every little judgment, every little condition you have on yourself is like a little wound or a little hole where there is not love. Okay, so sign up at easymoney.com, EASE-Y money.com. The class is coming up soon. You will receive the details if you sign up there. I'm going to show you this for yourself so you can see in your own life how everything is connected and everything is being reflected back to you, and tell you a lot more about my story and all of this and how I overcame it and live and move through the world in a new way. So please sign up. Share this if you know someone else who needs to hear it. I know a lot of women need to hear it. There's another video that I made about self-love that I'm going to link to beneath this, just the importance, because everything goes back to self-love and the conditions that we put on ourselves. So I'm going to link that probably below this video if you're on my website. So check that out too. And other than that, I will see you next week in another episode of Law of Attraction series.